Baby, can we talk about Meghan McCain real quick? Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome to JOA. If you're new to my channel, please click subscribe and click the bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload. I appreciate if you do subscribe, you click the bell. Y'all, I post daily videos if you're new to my channel. I ask icebreaker questions, and this question is pertaining to this video topic here. Do you agree that your race and your gender really disqualifies you from getting a job, even if you have the same qualifications on your resume as a white person? So that's the icebreaker question. I'm also on patreon.com/JOA. If you feel that I am worthy of your support to donate $5 a month, patreon.com/JOA. Thank you so much for your support so far. For the 25 patrons that signed up, I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 40 this week, and I know I can do it with your help. I know I can do it. 32,000 subscribers, almost 33. I know I can do it, okay? So I appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys. Answer the icebreaker question below. I want you guys to watch this clip, and I'm going to read this Meghan McCain for filth when we come back, okay?
Meghan, when you see somebody say, hey, listen, I need us to be represented, do you think she should have done it differently, or do you feel like she was exerting her power as one in the milieu that allows us to say, hey, we're not represented here?
Well, I want to break this down to two separate issues. The first one is the politics of this, and there's nothing that Mitch McConnell loves more than this, because it means that there will be more no votes coming from Democrats and less people being put in cabinet positions. Cabinet positions in government are pinnacle. They're the most important parts of our electoral process. And I truly believe the most qualified people should be holding, places that do things like national security and infrastructure, things that literally are the meat and potatoes that make the country great. I believe that what makes America exceptional is the fact that we're a meritocracy, that you can be anything, that you can come from anywhere and go and have success in any capacity. And I think the question Democrats have to reconcile with right now is whether or not race and gender are more important than qualification. So if you have someone who is more qualified, who happens to be a white, straight person, who is more on paper, has more experience in whatever field that they're being nominated for, than a minority with less experience, are we now in a place where this matters? And there's a lot of really interesting politics going on in the country right now, and I'm going to give just two really quick examples. One is Harvard University and Ivy Leagues are actually being sued right now for not letting Asian American students in at the same rate that they are letting black students in, because they are not being considered by Ivy League students in the same vein as minorities, as any other minority is. Another example is in the recent stimulus package, money was given to minority farmers, but that excluded women farmers. And so we're going to a place where even if people need money, even if people are qualified to get into Ivy Leagues, race and gender is more important than your skill qualifications, the content of your character. It is not what Martin Luther King Jr. preached. I think this is a very, very slippery slope. I was very surprised to hear someone like Tammy Duckworth say something like this. She got a lot of blowback from a lot of people, not just on the right. And I think this is actually just the natural progression of identity politics. And I will say, just to put a cap on this, The View is 25 years old next year. We've only had one Asian American co-host this show. So does that mean that one of us should be leaving at some point because there's not enough representation? We're talking about, is identity politics more important than qualifications of a job? And I think that's a question going forward that the progressive left is going to have to reconcile.
Meghan?
Yeah, I just told you during the commercial break,
earlier,
that I just wanted to clarify in regards to the farmers. I was just concerned that women farmers were not included in the stimulus along with African American farmers, and I thought that, given the horrible year we've had and how deeply impacted farmers have been in the country, that they should have been included. And I just wanted to clarify
that women should have been included.
So part of her commentary and part of Meghan McCain debate was that she feels that race and gender should align yourself to getting a job. She mentioned a Harvard study review, but what she really doesn't realize is that the reason why, and I say this all the time, that Black people are finally, till this day, are getting the politically, the political convenience of white media is because for 400 years, Whoopi says y'all been bitching. I'm not going to call it that. Y'all been using your voice to stand up what's right. You know, Whoopi is a Democratic elitist. I think for her to even say y'all been bitching, black people been bitching about it. No, I don't call it that. You know, you guys are human, just like myself, just like a white person as well. And so you guys have the right to align yourself with a job as long as you have the qualifications and experience. There shouldn't be no discrepancies between your color and between a white person getting a job. So she mentioned a Harvard review study and how Harvard is now accepting African Americans to be enabled in Harvard University. And Sonia Halston read that as, because Sonia Halston was like, my son, who's also black, has a 4.0 GPA, and he got into Harvard because of his grade point average. However, I do feel like that a lot of these colleges and a lot of these networks, these white colleges, these white networks, ABC and CBS, they're aligning themselves, these politicians as well, they're aligning themselves to black people because they know finally after 400 something years that you guys have power. Okay, that doesn't mean that they care about y'all. They just know that your voice is powerful and they have no other choice, regardless if they're racist or not. They have no other choice but to deal with it. Joe Biden has no other choice but to deal with it, okay? Because he knows that within the 30 years of politics, no president till this day can win the presidency without aligning themselves with black people. You know, doesn't mean that they like black people. They just know that they can't further their career in politics without being the help from you guys out there. So it's not like that they care. It's the fact that they have no choice. Meghan McCain also doesn't realize, since she was born from a silver spoon, and the audacity for her to even bring up MLK when her cheating ass father, John McCain, denounced the MLK holiday, then he decided to retract that statement years later. I don't think she understands that I myself, me person, or a black person can have the same experience, go to the same college as a white man or even a white woman, and we can still not be hired because our name can be looking too ethnic or because the color of our skin. I even had a subscriber when I talked about race relations in the job community several months ago said that he didn't even hire a person because their names sound too foreign and they weren't comfortable with hiring them. And he was really honest, he or she was really honest about that. And Harvard study did a review, and I spoke. Harvard University actually did a study on this. They did a study on this. And so this was a 2017 study. And so one alarming fact right off the bat from this study was when looking for employment, only 11.5% of job applicants of Asian descent received callbacks when their resumes included references to ethnicity or race. Example, a foreign-looking name, and African Americans didn't fare much better. When applying for jobs, only 10% got calls when they left details pertaining to their ethnic identity or intact. So you know what these people, like myself, and what blacks and what Asians do, unfortunately, I have never done this before, and I will never do this because I don't sell my soul to get my job. They whiten their names. So instead of saying my name is I don't know, Craig Tran, they're going to write something to the effect of Craig Johnson. You see what I mean? Instead of somebody saying that their name is, I don't know, Lakeisha or something like that, they may minimize that name to something of a more standard white name. And according to studies, there is going to be a high propel of being called for an interview. And of course, when you're seen during an interview, good luck, because if you're black or something else, you may not even get the job. But the fact that there's a high increase because you're whitening your name, you're taking off the clubs that you were in school, African American Studies or African American Club, National Black Society or something, you're taking that off. And you're aligning yourself with activities that are more white, like kayaking, playing baseball, playing golf, doing the white stuff that appeals to these jobs, corporate America, and so on and so forth. You're going more likely to get a call, unfortunately. And to prove to you guys with statistics, and this is unfortunate, so as reported in Harvard Business School, working knowledge, the strategy is paying off when you whiten your name, you guys, okay? 25% of Black candidates received callbacks from their whitened resumes, while among Asians, 21% got calls if they used whitened resumes, even though the qualifications listed were identical. Okay, so all they did was change their names and they had identical qualifications. And the fact that having them change their names to sound more white got more calls is really, it's really unfortunate. It's really showing that there's not really a land of opportunity here in the United States. That's all just political talk. But behind the scenes, against the leans, there's still racism going on, and it needs to change. And it sucks, and it's unfortunate. I think also people need to realize that Kamala Harris is South Asian, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. That's considered to be South Asia. And then, of course, the China, the Japan and Korea and all these other people on the top tier up top, up north of China are North Asian or just Asian in general. So there's not really representation when it comes to Vietnamese, when it comes to Japanese, when it comes to Korean, and so on and so forth. And so I just personally feel that the scope of this problem is we're not telling you white people that you should hire someone because of their gender or because of their race, what Meghan McCain is saying. We're saying that if someone has the equivalency of qualifications and experience on their resume with the white person, then they should be given the same opportunity. They should be given the same call, no matter what their name is. They shouldn't be able to whiten their name to get a job. And so they should have an equal opportunity during an interview to state their case. And their job approval or denial should be based on how they represented themselves in an interview and how they answered themselves when the interviewer gave out questions. A race shouldn't be the reason why somebody didn't get a job. Your qualifications and your experience should be the reason why somebody didn't get the job. And it's not hard. And Meghan McCain doesn't understand it because she's a racist white woman and she has no life experience and will never understand or know the feeling of being denied a job because the color of your skin versus the lack of experience and versus the lack of qualifications. It's really simple. It's not hard. It doesn't take a rocket science to know that race relations is a huge problem in the United States of America, all over the world, really. And you really don't need to have a college degree to understand that. You just really need to understand if you are white and you can hear people out. It's not an excuse that we make. It's real. It's a real issue that happens all the time. And so, unfortunately, I have to work twice as hard. You that's watching me now, that's a minority or Black, have to work twice as hard, if not more, to land a job of a white person. Just like Omarosa told Bethany Frankel, you could be mediocre and land a talk show. But me as a Black woman, I got to work twice as hard to even get attention.
Different for you and I. I'm an African-American woman. You get to walk around and be mediocre and you still get rewarded with things. We have to be exceptional to get anything in this business. I wasn't calling her mediocre because clearly she's doing well. I'm here on your show, and I think that's fantastic.
And you're $10,000 richer.
And $10,000 richer. But I think it's important to understand that you don't stay a decade on television in reality TV without being smart and creating a brand that people want to see. If the audience didn't want to see Omarosa, they would never book me again.
And so, anyways, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Patreon.com/JOAJOA. If you feel the need, but my good skin, my beautiful face deserves your $5 a month. I appreciate it. You give up a Starbucks for a month, okay? Give up one little Starbucks coffee. You'll be fine. Use your stimulus money. Deuces. Yeah.